Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone to our session on the Community Wildfire Safety Program. My name is Dave Meyer, and I'm the Senior Manager for PG&E's Customer Emergency Operations Team, and I'll be moderating our webinar tonight from my home office here in Sacramento County. We're here to share information about what we're doing to reduce wildfire risk and make our system safer. First, a few housekeeping items for the presentation. If you'd like to receive this information in another language, we will be hosting translated presentations this summer. You can check our website at pge.com/webinars and check there regularly for an updated schedule, including when we will be hosting sessions in other languages. If you'd like to view real-time closed captions tonight in English, Spanish, or Chinese, you can click the CC button in the bottom right corner of your screen, and then you can change the caption language by choosing settings, and the caption subtitle language will show up there. We want to make sure you have an opportunity to ask questions and give us your feedback tonight. This presentation will be about 30 minutes with plenty of time for Q&A at the end. If you'd like to ask a question, you can submit those at any time throughout our presentation through the chat. The questions do only come through on our end, so don't be alarmed if you aren't seeing questions from others. We will get to all those questions and answer them live after the presentation. If for some reason we are not able to get to your question, you can reach out to us on our dedicated email address for the program. That's wildfiresafety@pge.com, and our team will respond to you. We'll also be recording today's presentation and posting it along with the slides on our website. Again, that's pge.com/webinars. It'll take us about a week to get everything packaged up and posted to the web, so give us a few days and then come check back in about a week. I'd like to get this meeting started like we start every meeting at PG&E with a safety moment. It is Wildfire Preparedness Week, and we want to share tips to help you get ready for and stay safe during this wildfire season. We encourage everyone to prepare for natural disasters or emergencies. You can do that by building a disaster supply kit for you and your family or your business. And make sure you include food, water, any necessary medications, flashlights, first aid kits, and a list of emergency contacts and any other information you may need to help you stay safe. For information and some guidelines on preparing for emergencies and preparing these kits, you can visit safetyactioncenter.pge.com. And now that we're off to a safe start, I'll jump right into our agenda. So today we're going to talk about how we identify wildfire risk and reduce that risk through our Community Wildfire Safety Program. We'll talk about the wildfire safety work in your communities. And then we'll have an overview of our enhanced power line safety settings and public safety power shutoff programs. And we'll close with some resources that are available to customers and the Q&A. So I'd like to introduce you to our team with us this evening. Joining me are Joshua Sims, he's a Regional Vice President for the Central Valley region, and Nate Alonzo, our Local Government Affairs Representative for the area. So with that, I'd like to turn the presentation over to Joshua Sims, your Regional Vice President, and he can discuss the work we're doing to prevent wildfires in your community.
Thank you, Dave. Nice job. Hello, everyone. Once again, Joshua Sims. I'm the Regional Vice President here in Central Valley. I live here, I work here in Fresno County. In fact, I just got back. I was running a little late today, coming back from Cal Fire Wildfire Preparedness Week up there in Amador County. It was at Mount Zion State Forest with some of my coworkers, and really this event just highlights the partnership across the various agencies: Cal Fire, Amador County Board of Supervisor, Amador Fire, the Sheriff's Office, U.S. Forest Service, Cal OES, and other federal, state, local, and tribal communities all across our region. And it was so nice to hear how the team and all of the agencies are being prepared. And I want to let you know that we are prepared as well. I want to start by saying that we are making our electrical system safer, stronger every single day for our customers, to protect our communities, our hometowns, where we live, where we work. So to understand where we need to focus our efforts, we first identified where wildfire risk is the greatest. The high fire risk area map that you see here, it shows exactly where the risks are in our region. So we target our wildfire work in the places that have the highest risk. So when you think of our key wildfire safety objectives for this year, we have to go back to when we launched the program. So we launched this community wildfire safety program in 2018, and our goal was to help keep our customers, our communities safe in the face of growing wildfire risk around the state. And now, over the past 5 years, we've made significant progress and have layers of protection in place to prevent wildfires in several ways. So I look forward to sharing some of those layers, and it's really just good to understand the different layers and technology that we're using to really have better protection. So by strengthening our system with stronger poles and covered power lines, by keeping trees at a safe distance from electric equipment, by undergrounding 10,000 miles of power lines, and by implementing public safety power shutoff as a last resort during dangerous conditions. We know that losing power can be a hardship. So we are also expanding support for our most vulnerable and highly impacted customers. We're working hard, and we know that we have a lot more to do. So I touched on the multi-layers of protection. This is a really nice, just one slide, shows all the different layers. Since we launched our community wildfire safety program, we have eliminated 90% of our wildfire risk from our system. We have accomplished this through a combination of ongoing safety programs, long-term improvements, and then safety programs and new situational awareness tools. So we don't just rely on one of these measures. They all work together harmoniously to provide customers with multiple layers of protection. So what's next? Well, let's talk about what's new in our communities and in our region. So in this next section, we'll discuss work in our communities in both to prevent wildfire and help reduce power outages. I know this map might be difficult to read, and we'll talk through it here. You can see the map is completed. It's completed and planned work around our areas. This map is completed and planned work in our region and in your community. As you can see, we're prioritizing wildfire safety work in the areas with the highest risk. I know it's a little hard to see, but we'll talk through some of the icons, and I'll briefly touch on each of our safety programs in more depth. So our icons, you can see them there. Hopefully you can maybe zoom in, but planned and completed undergrounding miles is one icon. Planned and completed overhead system hardening miles, sectionalizing devices installed, weather stations installed, and high definition cameras installed. So as we move through our slides here, we'll see that keeping trees at a safe distance from our power lines is going to be very important. That's a part of our layers of protection. Trees are a big source of wildfire risk. That's why every year we inspect vegetation on more than 100,000 miles of power lines. We prune and we cut down more than 1 million trees that present a hazard. And we do more pruning where we have a higher volume of vegetation-caused outages. Together, this work reduces wildfire risk, improves reliability for our customers, and makes our electric system even stronger. If any safety work is planned at your property, you can expect advanced notification from us by text or by email. And for more information on vegetation management work, you can visit pge.com/trees. That's pge.com/trees. So let's talk now about another layer, and that's strengthening the electric grid. We're also reducing wildfire risk by strengthening poles and installing stronger covered power lines. We call this overhead system hardening. Over the last 5 years, we've completed overhead system hardening work totaling 143 miles in our area. And we're currently working on Toward our additional overhead system hardening, our projects, they will total 81 miles, incremental. So this work will occur over several years to help prevent wildfire and significantly improve the reliability during the winter weathers. All right, let's go now to situation awareness. So we want to improve our situational awareness. Once again, another layer here of support and help. So to help us better understand and respond to the risk, we built and installed our own network of high definition cameras and weather stations. In 2022, we reached our goal of 600 total high def cameras installed, allowing us the ability to see more than 90% of our high fire risk areas that we serve. We have also completed a comprehensive network of advanced weather stations, which gives us real-time information. And you can see these cameras and the stations in our communities by visiting pg&e.com/weather. That's pg&e.com/weather. All right, another layer, undergrounding our power lines. All right, so we're committed to undergrounding 10,000 miles of power lines in areas where the highest fire risk, because it's the best long-term solution for keeping our customers and our communities safe. See, moving overhead power lines underground, it reduces the ignition risk by approximately 99% in that location where we've undergrounded. And undergrounding limits future safety power outages, improves system reliability, and decreases the need for future work and future tree work in that area. Undergrounding also helps lower ongoing maintenance and vegetation management costs. Why is that important? Because once an area is selected for undergrounding, we evaluate each proposed project with a focus of mitigating the maximum amount of risk effectively and efficiently. And in 2022, we completed 1 mile of undergrounding in your area, which was in Amador County. So we're currently working towards additional undergrounding projects, totaling 121 miles in this focused region. Expanding our electric system underground will not only strengthen the system and help reduce wildfires, but it also will prevent outages. I'll just also note that the work plans can change, especially given the long lead times that undergrounding projects require. So we'll continue to share updates, provide details related to undergrounding and the work that we're doing here in the future. In fact, maps of undergrounding throughout our service area can be found at pg&e.com/undergrounding. pg&e.com/undergrounding. So with that, I've said enough. I'm going to hand it back over to Dave and talk to you about wildfire safety outages. Back to you, Dave.
Right. Thank you, Joshua. So yeah, we'll share more about the potential wildfire outages and some updates for this year. So in 2021, we started a pilot on about 170 circuits in the highest fire risk areas, and we installed more sensitive safety settings there. We call them enhanced power line safety settings. So these settings automatically turn off power within 1/10 of a second if there's a problem, to help stop wildfires before they have a chance to start. Right, by reducing the time that there's a fault on a system, like a tree branch touching the line in this graphic, that means that less energy is released and that reduces the chance of an ignition. In 2022, last year, we expanded the enhanced power line safety settings to protect every customer who lives in the high fire risk areas. And we continue to see, as we continued to see elevated wildfire risk through 2022, despite that risk, there was a 68% reduction in reportable ignitions and an overall reduction in fire size last year. And most fires that were started impacted fewer acres despite the very dry conditions. So 100% of the electric circuits in the high fire risk areas in your communities are protected by these enhanced safety settings. I'll show a map here in a moment to help you see those areas. And while these settings make the electric system safer, customers may experience unplanned power outages. If there's an outage on an EPSS protected line, our patrol crews work to identify the cause and then repair the damage and get the power restored. We also do a detailed outage review to identify the causes of those outages and where there may be opportunities to further improve reliability going into the future. So here you can see an overview of the identified causes of outages that customers in your communities experienced from 2021 to 2023 while these enhanced settings were enabled. We're committed to keeping customers protected from wildfires while also delivering reliable energy. We're aware, as I mentioned, that some customers experience multiple outages, and we're working hard to reduce the number of outages and the overall length of those interruptions to your service. So in 2022, our team took actions to improve reliability. We installed fault indicators to help speed up the restoration process. These are essentially little lights that stay on the overhead power line, and when a fault occurs, they help our crews identify the location of the damage or of the tree branch, whatever it might be. If they can get there quickly, they can correct the problem and get the power back on more quickly. We've installed bird and animal guards to keep those animals safely away from the power lines. We've trimmed trees near power lines, as Joshua mentioned. And in some cases, we've even temporarily transferred some customers so that they're being served by a different circuit where that's an option to help improve reliability in some of those areas. And although some of the areas did see challenges with reliability, over 80% of our customers across our entire service territory experienced 2 or fewer outages while being protected by the enhanced safety settings in 2022. I want to shift gears a little and talk about another type of wildfire safety outage. These are public safety power shutoffs. When there are really high winds, that can cause tree branches or debris to hit the electric lines, cause damage to our equipment, and potentially lead to a wind-driven wildfire. That's why we may need to turn off power during the most severe weather to help prevent wildfires. We call that a public safety power shutoff, or PSPS. It's a tool we use when we expect weather to be so severe that our customers' safety and the safety of the communities we serve may be in danger from wildfires. Every wildfire season is different. We received a lot of rain and snow over the past 3 months, or the first 3 months of the year. But we know the dry conditions of late summer and fall are still a significant risk. They're still to come for California in the next several months. And we'll use the actual real-time conditions to determine if we need to shut off power to ensure the safety of our communities. We talk about some of the similarities and differences between these programs. Recognize this can be confusing, so we'll highlight a few things here. Every day we're looking at wildfire risk to decide what we need to do to protect customers. The Enhanced Powerline Safety Settings program reduces risk from fuels-driven wildfires, right? Vegetation-driven wildfires. And we'll enable those circuits or activate those settings when we have a combination of dry fuels and low humidity. PSPS, on the other hand, is targeted at reducing the risk of wind-driven wildfires. So we use public safety power shutoff when we have low humidity levels, forecasted high winds, a red flag warning from the National Weather Service, and then when there's dry material on the grounds as well, and in addition to real-time observation from our crews, right? The folks out there, what's really happening on the ground as opposed to solely using forecasts. For PSPS, we can inform our customers in advance. Because it's based on a weather forecast, we can typically see it coming, right, a couple days in advance, and give our customers time to prepare for those potential safety outages. Whereas EPSS, on the other hand, we aren't able to inform our customers in advance because it's automatic. It's the result of something coming in contact with the line or a problem with the line, and so the line is de-energized to reduce the likelihood of an ignition. But for any type of outage, we are going to inform our customers when we expect power to come back on as soon as we have that information, and then we'll provide regular updates throughout the duration of any outage. For information on an outage you may be experiencing, or really any outage, customers can visit pge.com/outages to get estimated times of restoration and outage information. So now I'll hand it over to Nate Alonso, who's going to talk about the resources available to customers in your community.
Thank you, Dave. My name is Nathan Alonso. I am a local government affairs rep here in Madera, Mariposa, and Merced counties. And we just want to make you aware of some of the support that we provide during an outage. So during a PSPS event, we open a local community resource center where you can access some of the following services: a safe location to meet basic power needs, like charging your medical devices and equipment, and some of your electronics. Some up-to-date information about the PSPS event that you're currently experiencing, and then water, snacks, and other essential items. You can find a community resource center near you during an event by visiting pge.com/CRC. We are also working with the California Foundation for Independent Living Centers and about 16 participating disability disaster access and resource centers to provide support before and during an event. This includes hotel stays, food stipends, and transportation as needed for eligible customers with some access and functional needs. If you or another member of your household depends on electricity for medical needs, please reach out to your local Disability Disaster Access and Resource Center prior to a PSPS event, so that way we can get some assistance lined up for you. We also provide, very importantly, portable batteries to customers and refrigerators.
We may have lost Nate here. Let me do my best here to pick up where he's where he left off. So the portable battery program. Oh, we got him back. Good timing.
Okay.
I was just jumping in. We lost you at the beginning of this slide, Nate. Maybe you can start over. I take that back. I see him freezing again on my end. So what Nate was talking about is our portable battery program here. This is part of our Disability Disaster Access and Resources program. We began this in 2020, and since then distributed over 18,000 portable batteries to customers who are eligible there. And in 2023, we've increased funding and expanded eligibility as well for our generator and battery rebate program and our portable battery program. So you can visit pge.com/portable battery for more information and on eligibility and about the program in general. I'm going to pause for a sec and see if we have Nate back. I'm sorry for looking the other direction. It looks like he's coming in and out, so I'm going to just go ahead and continue here for the next few slides to make sure we can get this information out to our customers. Because if I'm having trouble hearing him, I'm thinking others might as well.
So last year, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're coming in and out, Nate. I'm going to go ahead and take this. Okay. So last year, we developed a new meter design that makes it easier for customers to use backup power that they may already have during any outage. These are a new meter that provides a safe and a convenient way to connect a portable generator to the home in just a few minutes. So instead of extension cords and power strips, the generator can be plugged directly into the meter, and then customers can use their panel, their circuit breaker panel, to control where that power is distributed throughout their house. It's free to customers who have a compatible generator. There's more information available at pge.com/transfer meter. I do want to say that we saw a lot of enrollments at the end of 2022, and then with the storm activity we saw in early 2023, we fell a little behind. So we're not currently taking applications for backup power transfer meters at this point, but we expect in the next few months, as we get caught back up and get them installed for the customers who've already applied, we'll reopen those applications at pge.com/transfer meter for customers who may be interested. All right, next jump to the self-generation incentive program. We call it SGIP. This program offers rebates to save on energy storage systems, whether it be for your home or your business, backup batteries. Whether that outage that you're experiencing may be a planned outage while we're doing maintenance, or an unplanned outage from a storm during an EPSS event, public safety power shutoff, whatever it might be. A battery allows our customers to have power for their home or business. If you're interested in more information, you can visit our website, pge.com/SGIP, for more information there. With that, I'm going to transition over to our last slide here before we jump into Q&A. There's some resources and information about our wildfire safety efforts here on the slide, and you can visit pge.com/wildfire safety as kind of the general landing place. If you forget any other website, pge.com/wildfire safety, you start there. You can find links to all of these resources we're showing here on the screen. So now we're going to transition to the Q&A portion of the event. We've been receiving a number of great questions from you all. Thank you. Keep them coming. We'll start working through them and answering them. As a reminder, you can ask a question by clicking the Q&A box on chat, and we'll do our best to answer all the questions we receive. If for some reason we aren't able to get to your question today, or really if you have a very specific question about your home, your business, that we may not be able to answer, you can reach out to our dedicated email address, wildfiresafety@pge.com, and that gives us an opportunity to dig in a little more deeply with you and get you a more specific answer. Okay, with that, we are going to get started. I think I will take the first one. Actually, I'm gonna go to Amanda from our veg team here first, our vegetation management team. Do we have customers asking tonight, and it's actually a very common question, typically the first one I'm going to ask on webinars. If a customer sees a tree or some kind of vegetation that they think poses a risk to one of our power lines, what should customers do to report that to us?
Hi, good evening. There are several options to report what they think may be a potential hazard, including the Report It app. Okay, so there's info on the slide that you have up right now, pge.com/reportit. In addition, they could email pge.com, or sorry, wildfiresafety@pge.com. Okay, those would be the best options to reach out if they have a veg-related concern where they think they may have a hazard.
All right, thank you. We have a question from Denise. Her question is, and I think we responded directly to you as well, but I think it's a general question worth sharing for our broader group of customers who are joining us tonight. As Joshua talked about the different aspects of our community wildfire safety program, there was one about, the question was, why are you replacing poles and doing overhead system hardening instead of just replacing them underground? And I think the best answer is that Joshua kept using the word layers, and there are several tools in the toolbox and layers of protection that we can use to reduce the risk of wildfires in the communities we serve. So while undergrounding is a good solution in many places, it is a longer term solution. It takes time to plan, acquire the right-of-ways, and perform undergrounding. Our commitment to undergrounding 10,000 miles represents about a third of the electric distribution system that we have in the high fire risk areas. It's going to take several years to do it. So our team is looking at the risk that is posed by different electric circuits in the area. They're looking at the vegetation in the area, topography, what's the age and the condition of that equipment, and they're using all of that to prioritize our undergrounding work. At the same time, we may have the opportunity to do overhead system hardening and reduce risk as well in some areas while those longer term undergrounding efforts are taking place. So it's not a one-size-fits-all approach. We use undergrounding where that makes the most sense, and that is the best way to reduce risk in the area. In other areas, there's continuing vegetation management to reduce the likelihood of vegetation touching a line, and there's system hardening as well that allows us to reduce risk to our communities. All right, I'll come back with another question. Customer asks, is PG&E incorporating reclosers on distribution circuits? This is someone who may be a little more in the know of the electric system. So reclosers are a tool that we use throughout our distribution system. In essence, there are a couple different ways we can protect the circuits that serve communities. There are things like fuses, right? I think your car has fuses. They work the same way. When there's a fault, the fuse will open. A recloser is a different type of device, more like a circuit breaker we see on our homes. As we talk about the Enhanced Power Line Safety Settings program, that is we use reclosers. We use our line reclosers for that program. They're a programmable piece of equipment that we can set the sensitivity of. And really what EPSS is doing is setting the sensitivity of those reclosers to be more sensitive than the fuse. So rather than taking maybe a second for a fuse to recognize that fault and open, the recloser can operate within 1/10 of a second and reduce the amount of energy that's present when that fault occurs, and therefore reduce the likelihood of an ignition. So yes, there are reclosers throughout our service territory, and they are a piece of equipment that we continue to use to break the grid into smaller chunks for regular maintenance and for wildfire risk prevention. All right, I jumped to a couple other questions here. It's like our team is answering some of there's a lot of specific questions coming in that looks like our team is responding directly to customers with. Let's see here. I'll look to my team. If we have a separate chat here, if there's any you want me to come to you with as I catch up, let me know. I see a question here, and maybe I'll come to Nate here. Joyce asks about, said that we have PG&E has a 7-day PSPS weather forecast that some customers have signed up for delivery to their mailbox. Asking if that is something that for customers who want that, is that something they need to re-sign up for again this year, or are we going to turn that back on as we get closer into wildfire season?
Customers don't need to re-sign up for alerts as far as I know. All alerts are enabled, so whenever we push one out, if customers are signed up for alerts, they should be getting them.
Perfect. Thank you, Nate. Okay. We have a question about another question from Denise about notifying PG&E of hazards and what the timeline looks like to respond. I'll highlight the Report It app here that Amanda touched on as well. Customers who see anything that doesn't look right, a pole leaning, a transformer, looks like a bucket on the pole that may look different, right? We drive by the same places as we take kids to school, as we go to work. If something looks different to you and you want to raise it to us, our Report It app is a great way to do that. Take a picture of it, describe what you're seeing, submit that to us, and then our team within 30 days will review those and then get back to the customers with either sometimes it's not an issue, sometimes it's thank you for raising this. We have a plan to take care of this issue. So encourage customers to use our Report It app. You can go to pge.com/reportit to download that app and sign up and submit any issues to us there. In addition, if you don't have an issue you'd like to report, but you're looking at you want to know what other issues have been reported in your area, you can see submissions by others through the Report It app. So you can zoom into your area and see what other people have raised. All right, I'm going to take a question here, another question on the Enhanced Power Line Safety Settings program. So Joyce asks, how can I tell if the circuit serving my home has EPSS enabled? Great question. We're working long-term on some tools that'll give our customers more visibility into the EPSS program, as well as a little better information or some more information on undergrounding and upcoming vegetation management work. But right now, as of last Friday, if you visit our outage center, it's pge.com/outages. You can type your address in there the same way you would if you wanted to get information about an outage. Type your address up, a box will pop up with information pertaining to your home or business or whatever address you typed in. If the enhanced power line safety settings are enabled on that line, the line serving that address, there'll be a little blue bar across the top. And it'll say, I don't have the exact wording in front of me. I'm scanning for it. It will say, to keep you safe, your power lines have enhanced safety settings, EPSS currently turned on. These safety settings significantly reduce wildfire risk, and there's a link there to learn more, which will take you to pge.com/EPSS. So you can go to pge.com/outages, type in the address you're interested in, and we will you'll be able to find there'll be a blue bar across the top that shows whether or not your circuit is enabled. I want to call out the difference between the settings being turned on and that circuit being capable of being turned on, right? Two different things. What that blue bar is telling you is that as of the time you looked it up, it's actually turned on. We review the weather every day and determine whether or not these safety settings are necessary. So the line may have, as of today, there were 0 circuits across our service territory that had EPSS settings turned on. But that could change in 2 weeks, right? If we have some rain over the next day or two, but in a few weeks we may see areas start to dry out. So that's a kind of an ongoing thing that customers can use to check whether or not the EPSS settings are enabled on a daily basis. Okay, I see a question about the backup power transfer meter. Asking how is that meter different from an ATS or an automatic transfer switch? An automatic transfer switch is typically a larger device that's installed. So when the power goes out, it automatically turns the generator on and switches the home or business, whatever's being served, to the generator power. It does it automatically. The backup power transfer meter is a different meter design that doesn't do it automatically, but it lets customers plug in directly to the meter once they have their generator up and running. So it's still a it's a not automatic, not as quick, but it's a solution that lets you power the home lets customers power homes from the generator directly without having to run extension cords throughout the house to plug in a refrigerator, for an example. All right, I'm going to scan through here. Team, help me here if there are any you want me to call out. Apologies, folks. We got a lot of questions coming through, and a lot of these are being answered. They're very specific, being answered directly to customers. So it's kind of filling up my
Dave,
screen.
there's one down the bottom I was going to send to you regards to undergrounding. I can take that. Why don't we underground more lines? And it's taking a little bit longer. So in short, if you could go live over here, thank you. In short, the question is, why don't we underground more miles? It's taken a long time for us to do so. Why doesn't PG&E double down the efforts in undergrounding? And we are actually. So that's one thing I just wanted to call out. Good question. So obviously this is something new, 10,000 miles. It was a moonshot. It had been said that we couldn't do it. It wasn't something that we can do for years. But we put it in place. It was a breakthrough moment for our company. So in 2021, we only did 70 miles. But then in 22, we hit our goal of 175 miles. And then we did 180. So then now this year, we're going to do 350. And while it doesn't sound like a lot, we are ramping up. 2023, 350, 2024, 450, 550, 750, and we'll continue to move quicker as we gain better understanding and scope. And undergrounding our distribution lines in our highest fire threat areas is the best long-term solution. So we are prioritizing undergrounding in these areas that have the greatest impact. And once again, undergrounding is just one of the layers, multiple layers when it comes to protection. We have our ongoing vegetation management, system inspections, undergrounding power lines that we're discussing here, overhead system hardening, right? When needed, public safety power shutoff, EPSS, and then our high definition cameras as well as our weather station. So it's a multi-layer. Undergrounding is not a one-shop fix for everything. We are putting multiple layers in to protect our hometowns and our communities. A good question.
Great, thank you, Joshua. So I'm going to come to Greg next. And Greg, since I think we didn't have you on the slide, you'll need to introduce yourself to our customers. You can help me out with this one. Customer says last year they lost power for over 7 days. And what's PG&E doing? And have we improved to ensure this isn't going to happen again?
So first off, I've been chomping at the bit to get in and answer a question, so I just randomly chose this one to take a crack at it. No, I'm just kidding. But my name's Greg Race. I am a senior regional manager under the Fresno and Kern division. So this question's kind of twofold, kind of difficult to answer. You know, over the last couple storm seasons that we've had historic low snow events. This may be a contributing factor to some of those long restoration times. We've seen historical situations where access for our crews via even helicopter, things like that, have been very limited. And we've reached some historic times with these low snow events. So keep in mind, we are doing everything in our power to get those restoration times knocked down year over year. But when it comes to access in some of these very remote locations, it does take us sometimes upwards of a week, but we are working each and every day to become better with our restoration times for these events. So I hopefully that answers your question. Typically, you should not see 7-day outage timeframes, but like I said before, some access issues for our crews and our resources sometimes cause those events.
Thank you, Greg. I see a question from Joyce here, and I'm gonna try to infer here what we're talking about. So if I don't get to your question, please let us know. Asking about what kind of electric assistive technology is available for portable battery program. I think what you're getting at is what type of devices might be supported by the batteries. I'd really suggest that any customers who are a medical baseline program, are vulnerable, or who have access and functional needs, start with a 211. So they're our community-based organization partner and can help connect customers with the right folks. So what we partner with others through our Disability Disaster Access and Resources program to make sure that the experts who understand different medical devices and the types of needs customers might have are the ones that are helping decide what solution might be best for the customer, as opposed to us at PG&E doing it. So it might be a portable battery in some cases. It might be the generator and battery rebate program. It might be something completely different. It might be emergency preparedness planning. So if you have questions and you think that a portable battery might be a solution for you, suggest reaching out to 211. It's free, it's confidential. They're one of our support partners, and they can help connect you with the right people or resources in your specific community that'll meet the specific need that you have. All right, I think I'm not seeing any new ones. I am going to give I want to give a moment for customers who may have other questions they didn't get a chance to ask them. So I'm going to come to a few of our presenters here. Greg, I'll come to you first, and then to you, Nate, then to you, Joshua. So get ready and ask of all the material we covered, or even anything we didn't cover. What's your one takeaway from tonight? As customers who joined us, what's the one thing you want them to take away from our session? Greg, you first.
Yeah, absolutely, Dave. Thank you very much. I think for the most part, my number one concern is public safety. And I really do think that reporting these safety concerns on the Reported app when you're out in your communities and you're looking at things that, you know, look a little maybe janky to you, you can use that reported app. So you're submitting those non-emergency safety concerns at pge.com/report it. That would be my takeaway.
Thank you, Greg. I'll go to you next, Nate. Same question.
Well, a couple of the things that I hope attendees walk away with today is, number one, we're in your hometowns, we're your friends, neighbors, and you're going to see us at the grocery store. So we care about delivering for you in our hometowns. And also, there are a lot of resources available to our customers at pge.com. As you can see, if you have questions about generator rebates, if you have questions about safety, if you want to sign up for text alerts, we have our outage center. There's a lot of information available at our website. I know everybody's time is short, but whenever you have an opportunity, hop onto our website and check out all of the great information and resources we have available for you.
Thanks, Nate. And we'll go to Joshua. Same question. What's your one takeaway from tonight?
Well, I'll give the one takeaway. I just, you know, really going back to the importance and understanding the work and the multiple layers that we are putting in place, the technology with sectionalizer and equipment that will allow us to really, really create smaller grids that we can help manage. And when we do have outages, we know those outages are impactful, that our crews can get out there and safely restore your power quickly. You know, so the multiple layers that we're going to continue to talk about, that really is multiple layers of protection when it comes to our wildfire protection. And then also just know, I hope you feel that what we're doing as PG&E to rewrite the next chapter. An organization that we've been here for over 100 years, and we recognize that we're going to need to continue to do better. And we're committed to helping California not only be protected, to be safe, but to meet bold, clean energy goals and to deliver renewable energy to our customers. And we want to be here. We want you to know that we're here in the community, similar to what Nathan said, that we live here, we work here, part of the regional service model. There's 5,000 coworkers in the Central Valley alone. And in our entire enterprise, 25,000, 26,000 coworkers. So we're here to help and to support and to continue to write this next chapter for PG&E.
All right, thank you, Joshua, and thank you everyone for sharing that. I'm going to share my own since we have a moment here and I have the mic. Really encourage all of our customers to update their contact information with us. You can pge.com/wildfire safety. We'll have a prompt for doing it. You can also call us if you'd like. The hotline there, 866-743-6589, at the bottom of the screen. We talk about all the efforts we make to notify our customers of upcoming public safety power shutoff events and to provide information during any outage. We can't do that if we don't have your contact information. So please reach out to us, update your contact information so that we can get a hold of you when there's any kind of outage. You can also do it on the web through pge.com/mywildfirealerts if you'd rather do it that way. That ensures we can reach you in the event of any type of outage or emergency and remain in contact with you. We'll do one quick scan. I think we've gone through all of the questions that have been submitted. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Joshua.
I just want to take a moment and say thank you to the team. Thank you to those that were here to support, and also to our customers that joined us here. You know, to spend time here to help for you to really better understand what we're doing when it comes to wildfire safety. We welcome your feedback, though. So if you have any questions that we weren't able to answer today, please email us at wildfiresafety@pge.com. That's wildfiresafety@pge.com. And once again, we thank you again for being here with us, and have a safe rest of your evening.